What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Fantasy Puck video. It's Chris, and today I'll be bringing you guys our Week 25 preview. Guys, first of all, if you've made it to Fantasy Hockey Finals, congratulations, good luck in your week. Hopefully you guys pull through and secure the victory. Just before we get started, guys, as always, if you're interested in signing up for Prize Picks, be sure that you use code PUCK. They will match your initial deposit up to $100. They've got a lot of cool stuff coming up for playoffs, and look forward to that too. So if you're interested in signing up for Prize Picks, be sure that you use code PUCK. So guys, be sure that you're following us on Twitter as well for all of the updates that are going to happen this week, whether it's lineup changes or player injuries, player returning. I know a lot of you that have Roman Josi right now, if you're in the final, you're praying that this guy comes back for the final week. I have him in multiple leagues, one including which I'm going to be matched up against another FP member, it looks like, in the finals. Mike and I did a little team with the two of us, and then we're probably going to get matched up against Don and one of our other good friends in the final. We kind of like split the ownership across two teams in a league with $50 buy-in. So that looks like it's going to be the final matchup, so that one will be interesting to keep a track on. Definitely bragging rights and some money up for grabs for the FP guys this week. But guys, be sure that you're joining Discord as well too. If you guys have any questions, any type of like streamers, or if you have start and sit questions, any type of questions at all for your final week of fantasy playoffs, if you guys are in the finals, be sure to hit us up in the Discord. I'll have my DMs open all week as well too, helping you guys, and I'll be constantly checking the comments of this video as well. All right, guys, so the best schedule this week is across 5 teams: the Avs, the Preds, the Flyers, the Kraken, and the Golden Knights. This is a weird week, partially because we have Good Friday coming up and nobody plays on Friday. Not a single team plays on Friday. So I'll get to the kind of like best schedule for you guys this week. But you're primarily looking at the same thing it is with most weeks, where you get the Monday off night, the Wednesday off night, and then the Sunday off night as well. Like I said, nobody plays on Friday at all. Most teams have 3 games as well this week. The only team that has 2 off nights this week is Anaheim. So keep that in mind. I didn't include a lot of Ducks in this video just because, again, like, they're, number one, they're bad. And number two, like, there were just better options available at those positions. But if you need, like, if you think that it's going to give you an advantage to stream a guy for 3 games and 2 off nights, definitely go ahead. I will personally be looking at these teams that play 4 games and have 1 off night just to maximize that kind of like player total to help secure the victory here. So this is this player stream rotation I was talking about. You pretty much have 2 options. I kind of split it in above and below. I understand this might be a little bit confusing at first, but I'll explain right here. So no matter what you're doing, if you're streaming a guy early in the week, you want somebody from Nashville, Seattle, or Vegas. Part of the reason is because they have 3 games within those first 4 nights. Like basically every team plays on Wednesday. So you're going to get 3 games out of those guys. The ad drop day for your first option will be on Friday because, again, nobody plays on Friday. And then Boston, Colorado, Philly, and Anaheim all have 2 games and a back-to-back on the Saturday and the Sunday. Okay? So that essentially means that you're going to get a total of 5 games if you follow that first kind of player stream rotation, which is what I would recommend, which is why it's the first option. The second option for you guys is you could stream one of the 3 teams, Nashville, Seattle, Vegas, on the Monday into Tuesday, because all 3 of those teams have 2 games on Monday and Tuesday. Your drop ad day would be Wednesday, which means you can either play your streamer that you picked up at the beginning of the week, drop him after he started his game so that you get the points, and then pick somebody up on Anaheim. Because Anaheim has a back-ended schedule this week, they get 3 games in the last 4 kind of nights, which would be Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And essentially that just has it so that you get 5 games as well, but it's on 2 off nights. So those are your kind of 2 options there, guys. Hopefully I explained that so that you guys understand. Basically, it just depends on what you want to do. If you really want to target having a player with 2 off nights, you're going to do the second option, and you're just going to stream a guy for 2 nights on the first couple nights, Monday, Tuesday. And then you're going to pick up somebody from Anaheim, where you're going to get 3 nights in the last 4 days. 3 games in the last 4 days with 2 off nights. And that's essentially how that player stream rotation is going to work. But like I said, I recommend the first option just because the quality of players that you guys are going to get are going to be much, much better than, say, streaming somebody from Anaheim, for example. Unless it's somebody like obvious, like Trevor Zegras or Troy Terry or something along that line that you're able to pick up and stream in some of the smaller leagues. The worst schedule, like I said, most teams play 3 games, but the worst schedule is Washington and Winnipeg. Again, the busy nights are the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Saturday, which is what it's like most weeks for the NHL schedule. But if you have 2 guys on this team, I definitely recommend as soon as both those, it's kind of tough because they're both kind of spread throughout the week. It's not like you get them, anybody on Washington or Winnipeg, like early on, like within the first 2 days, like they're done, and then you can just stream an option later in the week. They're kind of just spread throughout the week. So up to you guys. Obviously, like OV is a big one off the top of my head that can really impact a week. So as soon as OV's done, you definitely want to pick somebody up, but just tough if you have a bunch of guys from these teams. Let's get into the forward streams, guys. Up first, probably your best bet, and again, won't be readily available to most players, but you know, in the smaller leagues, maybe. Jonathan Marchessault, 77% owned. This guy's an absolute shot machine. He produces at a high rate as well, too, guys. Definitely recommend picking him up if he's available to you guys. He's probably my number 1 option for the week. Even though he's 77% owned, like just a lights out option for you guys this week. Vegas has been rolling. And if that guy's not available to you, Jared McCann is another great option in terms of shots. He's got like 35 goals again this season. So another great goal scorer in that sense as well, too. And he hits as well, too, guys. So definitely make sure that you're picking up McCann if he's available to you guys. Owen Tippett has been absolutely lights out and is probably going to be on our sleepers list going into next year. This guy's found his game in Philadelphia. Torts seems to love him. He plays him a lot, like probably the highest average time on ice in the last 10 games out of any forward on Philadelphia. He's scoring a bunch too, guys. Like he's been on fire lately. Great shot volume and hit volume as well. Like actually surprising how much this guy hits. But definitely recommend picking up Owen Tippett if he's available to you guys, especially in the latter half of your week, where Philly, like I said, kind of gets 3 games in the latter half of the week there. Barbashev's another great option. Line 1, power play 1. He's fit really nicely in on that top line there. 28% owned. Should be a really good ad for this week. Like I said, shoots and hits as well too, guys. And he's been solid in terms of his production as well. Line 1, power play 1. Can't go wrong. And then Thomas Novak has been absolutely lights out for the Nashville Predators. I don't know what's happening with that team. If this team makes it into the playoffs, there'll be an absolute run for this team after trading literally almost like, well, they didn't trade half their team, but a couple guys that they moved out, like Jeannot, just the amount of picks they got for Jeannot was insane. But all the rookies are like stepping up, and all these like young guys are really kind of finding their place in the team right now. And Thomas Novak is no exception. Go look at his game log. This guy's been lights out in terms of his production. 11% owned. Pick him up right now. He's a great option for the week. He shoots. His peripherals aren't like insanely high in terms of volume, but like he does chip in a couple shots here and there. But like it's mainly just his production that's been really, really good as of late. So if you need some extra scoring this week, definitely recommend picking up Thomas Novak. He's been very, very good, guys. All right, moving on to some deeper streams. Morgan Frost also been solid. He's playing that top line with Tippett. You get him at a dual eligibility. He's 8% owned. Again, production's been really good for that top line there in Philly. So if you need some more scoring at a guy that's 8% owned, you won't be able to find too many guys that are line 1, power play 1. So definitely recommend Frost this week as well. Nicholas Waugh, if you guys need hits and shots, this is your guy. This was an absolute gem for me this year in my bangers leagues. Just insane amount of shot volume, insane amount of hit volume. Just very, very good in terms of a guy that's under 5% owned that you can just pick up in a deep league and just like run a bunch of peripheral stats. And Waugh is back after being injured, which is why he's probably 4% owned. I saw his ownership up high around like 7 or 8% at some points this year. But like he's back off of an injury and he's been great. So definitely look at him if you need hits and if you need shots. Probably won't do too much in terms of production. He'll chip in here and there, but he won't be like any of the higher end guys. Daniel Sprong, speaking of production, this guy is a goal scoring machine. 20 goals again. I don't like recommending players that like average around like 10 to 12 minutes a night or below 12 minutes a night. But Daniel Sprong just seems to be this anomaly this season. You get him at left wing and right wing eligibility, so you can play him pretty much on either wing. And just because Seattle's schedule is so good this week, guys, like I definitely recommend picking up Sprong if he's available to you in the deeper leagues. Just a really good option in terms of like production with a good mix of shot volume as well too. Key for sure, this guy absolutely hits everything that moves. If you need hits, if you need shots, he's been a really good option. Great peripherals guy, only 2% owned. And like I said, Nashville has a really good week this week in terms of their schedule. And then finally, guys, I don't think I've ever had a 1% ownership guy on any of the weekly previews, but Luke Evangelista is absolutely been lights out in terms of his production, and he's been shooting the puck a ton, guys. So go check him out. He's 1% owned. Nashville has a lot of low ownership gems. So if you guys are in deeper leagues this week, definitely recommend looking at some of the Nashville guys. Like I said, great schedule as well. So 1% ownership. I think I've never had anybody with 1% ownership. But he is a great deep stream for this week, guys, I promise. All right, moving on to defenseman. If you need one defenseman this week and you're in one of those smaller leagues, Adam Larsson is a great option. 59% owned, does everything you want out of a defenseman. Shoots, hits, blocks, plays a ton of minutes. Chips in here and there offensively. He's not a huge point-producing defenseman, but solid throughout the week. He'll get you all your peripheral stats that you want. If he's not available, I definitely recommend Braden McNabb. Same thing, great peripheral stats, shots, hits, blocks, all over the place in terms of those peripherals. So I definitely recommend McNabb for the week as well if you can't get Adam Larsson. Alec Martinez is worth mentioning here. If you guys count blocks in your league, this guy's an absolute machine. He might as well just like outright win you the blocks category for the week, especially given Vegas' schedule. So definitely recommend picking him up if he's available and you guys count blocks in your league and you think that that's a category that you want to target. He is worth mentioning that the reason why he's only 15% owned is that he doesn't really do much outside of block. Plays a ton of minutes, but doesn't really chip in offensively or have any great peripheral stats like shots or hits. Could be solid for plus minus, but just given the fact that, you know, he's just primarily there for his blocks, I definitely recommend Alec Martinez if you guys count blocks for this week. But if you guys do, chances are he's probably owned by a team. Jeremy Lauzon is another great option. This guy hits everything that moves. He did go down with an injury and did not play on the weekend. So I just wanted to give you guys a little asterisk there. This is a really big one for me actually this week if you guys count hits in your league. And if you find out Jeremy Lauzon is good to go for the beginning of the week on Monday, definitely pick him up. This guy is absolutely ludicrous. He's like top 3 in hits for this season for defensemen. Just absolutely insane in terms of his volume. And I definitely recommend picking this guy up if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, guys, Ryan McDonagh is a great option. Same thing, great, good peripherals defenseman. He's going to play a ton of minutes now, especially if Lauzon is out on a depleted Nashville blue line. And he's 3% owned, so he should be readily available to you guys. So definitely check out Ryan McDonagh. There are some other good defense options as well, too. If you're looking for peripheral stats, look at any of the Vegas defensemen that are around that 1-2% ownership. Nick Hague is somebody that just comes off the top of my head. He's a great option for you guys. And that should help you guys for defensemen this week. Not a lot of great power play 1D. I tried to look and find anybody. You could go Cam Fowler on Anaheim, but like he just hasn't been good as of late, and he hasn't had a power play point in a very long time. So I definitely didn't want to recommend him to you guys. But if you guys want to take a chance on a power play 1 defenseman, another good one. If you guys are looking for power play points, Colorado has a good week this week as well, too, guys. They play 4 games and have 1 off night. So those of you that picked up Sammy Girard, definitely hold on to him. Same thing with Bowen Byram. So definitely recommend hanging on to those guys if you have them for this week. And then rounding out the video, guys, we have Goalie Streams again. Goaltending is very scarce this time of year, especially due to the fact that a lot of the time starters are just going to be playing multiple games. Like I fully expect Staros to play both games this week in the back-to-back to start off the week. So very scarce in terms of goaltending. My highest level of confidence right now in terms of these 3 goaltenders is Jonas Johansson. And that's just the sole fact that he's playing Anaheim on Sunday. Number 1, it's on an off night. Number 2, you're playing Anaheim and you're Colorado. So you should win that game. And Johansson's been solid enough to where I would be more comfortable taking him than either of these goalies, just given the fact that number one, it's on and off night, and number two, he plays in Colorado. Laurent Brossoit has been okay. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad by any means. Vegas is just a very up and down team in terms of their goaltending right now, especially with all the injuries that are happening. Jonathan Quick is likely going to start, and Brossoit is going to get the back-to-back against Nashville. That'll be a big game for both teams who are fighting for positioning. Nashville's trying to get in right now, so Brossoit has been good enough to where like I would be comfortable in that matchup just because of how good Vegas has been. And then Dan Vladar on Calgary again. This is just a matchup pick here. He's 11%, or sorry, he's 8% owned, and you get him on a matchup against Chicago. And if Calgary can't beat Chicago, then they really don't deserve to make the playoffs. And please don't come for my head if that happens. Like I said, not a lot of good goalie options for you guys this week. This is why goaltending is very important in some leagues, just because of the scarcity of it. And you won't be able to find a goalie that you can like just stream on your championship week and that'll win you the week. But Jonas Johansson might be him. So definitely recommend if you guys need goaltending later in the week to pick him up. Probably sooner than later, because I know a lot of people are going to be on him just because he's a Colorado goalie. But other than that, that's going to do this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, good luck if you guys are in the finals. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of we have a lot of content actually in the works, just around like the brand and stuff in general as well too for the off season. And we'll get you guys a couple more videos. I want to do a end of the year recap where we kind of go over a couple picks and like players that we thought were going to do well, and we're just going to kind of review a lot of our picks for the year, which I think will be a fun video. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming. This will be the last weekly preview, guys. I know there are some weeks that do like 2 weeks for the finals, but for whatever reason, if that's your case, be sure to check out our Discord. Like I said, I'll be answering comments on this video for throughout the whole week, and my DMs will be open in Discord as well too, guys. So definitely hit me up if you guys have any questions, or just ping me in one of the channels there. I will be around. I'll try and make myself readily available for you guys this week. I know it's a huge week for some of you. So guys, thank you so much again. Have yourselves a fantastic rest of the day. Good luck in your finals, and I will see you in the next video.